we moving and grooving?
Oh yeah, we just run it.
Sick. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Also, you have to. I'm always curious how people do it.
Um,
You have to open it and close it, however you want to do it. Interesting.
yeah. What do you think?
It says a lot about your personality.
Does it really?
Purple eyes in the canyon. That's where
But I always like to see how people would do it, where it's like, because some people open it and they just let it drop.
Oh.
Some people open it, they shut it lightly.
Mm.
Some people open it and they slam it shut.
Yeah, aggressive.
Right? But apparently it is like you're supposed to actually slap it and slam it so you can really hear it. And so the audio syncs up or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know there was like an official way of doing it.
Yeah, you have to do the whole like whenever we do stuff, I hit the old 1 2 3 1 2 3, so you can give whoever's editing it when they like put sound onto it.
Yeah.
Then they can match up the 1 2 3 with like your
Fingers.
with your fingers, or you can hit them with a clap and you can go 1 2 3 1 2 3.
I didn't even know you were supposed to do it multiple times.
I just do it 3 times because it helps like when you have, because I have to edit a lot of our audio, and when you have like spikes in the audio and you can see like
You can see it.
It's way easier to line it up than like having to set it and then like look at their mouths and then like, because we had to transition to that. We had to transition to running on a click for social media, because we didn't have the money basically to get a house mix, because we didn't have our own house engineer. And so it was like we'd have to run it through our board, and if we ran it through our board, then we'd have to send it off and we'd have to get it mixed, and then we'd have to mix the whole show, then we'd have to cut it down, and by the time we did all of that, like a week and a half would pass, and then we'd be like, well, we're on to the next thing. This is kind of pointless. And so we kind of looked at the guys, and I was like, what if we hopped on a click? And as you know, I was like, as long as I'm on it, y'all don't have to be.
Yeah, well, you're the drummer. It's the biggest for you. So how was that process?
Dude, so we didn't even get like Ableton or any of those tracks or anything, like, because we're big anti-track people.
Just play it.
Yeah. So we got a drum machine, like one of those old.
Yeah.
And I just went in and I programmed, I think 1,000 bars. They were in the time signature of 1-1.
Okay.
Which is just one note over and over and over again. And I just programmed the one note to be like a side stick sound. And then I just did that over 1,000 bars. So it was just infinitely long. And then I would just change the tempo. And then I just copy and pasted it. And so then I just like, for like 19 songs, I'd be like, okay, this song's at 140. And then I'd set it. And then I'd be like, copy, paste. And then I'd be like, okay, this song's at, and that's what our click.
It's not, my guy always just used a Roland, and he would just trigger it with his Roland.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, I don't know why it needs to be really that much more complicated than that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're doing some weird songs now where it's like they're in like Birds. So Birds and the Bees is super hard because it's in 2 time signatures. Because like our producer, shout out Ryan Hewitt, he really likes to do a thing where it's like one section, like the slow section is in like 113, and then the faster section is like 114 and a half or something like that.
Or like tempo map,
a little tempo map. And it's like Birds and the Bees has been hard. But now it doesn't really matter because we shout out to everybody for listening to our music. We now have enough money. We can hire a sound guy. And so he comes out and we get, the way he does it is we get his exact left and right as he's mixed it in the venue for that day. So then when it just comes onto my phone, don't have to mix it, and it sounds, and it comes with all the effects that he puts on it and everything.
Whoa.
So it sounds beautiful. And we've gotten more of those. And now all we have to do is you just sync it up to the live audio basically, and you just play it over that, like the camera audio, and it's been
Man, that's slick.
Yeah.
Tempo mapping's huge, dude. People get stuck in this thing of like a grid when you're recording a song where it's like, what if the verse just needs to feel faster? And if there is a drop, what if the chorus goes halftime? Because like just playing the song on my own, I always struggle with that. Like on my new record, we did a lot of that where it was like, I think there was one song we didn't do to actual click and we just played it live. But other than that, it was like, man, I just really feel like this chorus is just too fast. Yeah. Verse felt great.
Yeah, verse felt, yeah.
It's like, well, why? They don't have to be the same, the same tempo.
No. Yeah, we just did a song called Flavorless. It's not coming out for a minute. We did the old Luke Combs thing. I don't know if you saw this, but he made a separate. Hi, by the way, also welcome to the part of the podcast where I just talk about marketing strategies because that's what I really love about music. I tell people all the time that I am a marketer who just happened to be good at drums. That is
I think that's
solely.
generous of you. I think that's like very humble of you.
I appreciate that. But so Luke Combs did something super cool. He made a separate Instagram account that he called Crowdsourcing, where he uploaded 16 demos and he put the Instagram account on his story and he said, "Hey, there's 16 full songs on this Instagram account called Crowdsourcing. Y'all go through it and listen, like the ones you like, comment on them, and then we're gonna go through and see like who like enjoys what."
Okay.
And then he picked from those songs the demos he would record. That was like his whole, which I really liked that idea. And so we just recorded 4 songs and we put them out. We put out like a minute of them on Instagram and we were like, we don't know what order we want to release these in. We're going to release them as singles. And one of the top voted ones was a song called Flavorless, where it starts out very like Dexter and The Moonrocks, very sad. And that's in one time signature. Then the whole band comes in. That's in another time signature. Then there's like, or it's in a different BPM, not time signature. I'm sorry. It's in a different BPM. Then there's a breakdown that is in another time signature. I think it's in like 6/8 instead of 4/4 or something. It's like in 5/4. I don't know. It's something weird. And that's sped up. And then we come out of it and slow it back down. And it was a whole trying to do it in the studio was a brain fuck. But
Ultra creative though.
yeah, I mean, in it sounds awesome because like it was exactly what you're saying. Where it's like, okay, the breakdown is the right speed, but the chorus coming out of it is too fast because the breakdown's now too fast. So we have to make the chorus coming out of it slower. But if we make the verse before the breakdown as fast as the breakdown, then the verse is too rushed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so we like kind of learned all of that and put that kind of to the test on some of the newer songs that we did.
I think it's interesting that like the marketing part of this stuff always ends up in the music world is like a dirty word. People try to act like it's not a creative endeavor, which I find to be really bizarre. Like to think that like Nirvana's record wasn't more popular because they had like the naked baby on the front of it.
Yeah, and like
Like I always thought that the whole creative part of it, you know, even if people used to just only make the music, there was a tremendous amount of creatives that were involved in the whole process of getting it out and connecting with people, from artwork to video and all of that. Now it's just, it feels like to have a successful career, the artist has to be more willing to do all of those little buckets. And I find it to be like an incredible, like the most successful ones are like typically the most creative people, in my opinion. They can make dope music and very, very good music, but then they can also be very intentional about the artwork and the branding and then the videos. And I just think it's like finally the culmination of all of it comes together, and whoever can put all of those things together and care about all that is going to have like pretty meaningful music careers.
Yeah. I mean, because I think you're so right. Because like if you look at, I'm a huge fan of Chappell Roan. I think she's fantastic. I think like if you look at Noah Kahn, if you look at Mount Joy, if you look at there are all these people that took like really big jumps in creative, and they're like, I want to put something out. I want something to mean something, right? And I think like I hate the whole comparison of someone's like, oh, could you imagine Tom York, lead singer of Radiohead, for anybody who doesn't know who that is? Like, could you imagine Tom York having to hop on TikTok? And I'm like, well, he didn't have to because radio existed and MTV existed, and you know, and they're like, could you imagine Kurt Cobain getting up here and like doing a little lip sync? And I'm like, but he did have to do that. And he did it for MTV, but he did it in his way that it became iconic. Like something that I think
You don't, yeah, it's crazy to think that bands at that time weren't shitting on him because he just got, you don't think there was other bands that were like, oh, must be nice to be on MTV.
I think they took Dave. No, it was he went up there and he played guitar like this. Like
Yeah.
he didn't use his fingers for like one. I think they made Dave Grohl play without sticks. Like it was the show. I think their bassist not like he knocked himself out, but it's like they were being creative with the digital platform. They couldn't do it on their phones.
Well, and you know there was probably other artists at that time that were like, "Oh man, I'm not into the MTV thing. That's bullshit. I'm just about the true art." It's like, okay. Just in the same way now somebody's like, "Oh man, I don't do the TikTok thing." It's like, well, whatever. I don't
It's just because it's frustrating because I think something for us and being from Texas too, it's like Kurt Cobain, Tom York, Tom Morello, they were people that were so good at being counterculture, they became the culture. And so they were the people where it's like, oh, Kurt Cobain wouldn't be on TikTok. It's like he wouldn't, but he would be able to counterculture that so well, and maybe he would be able to get on and make fun of it, or he would be able to do what he did when they faked the lip syncing or anything like that. And that in itself would create a different culture. And I think that's what people miss is you go counterculture until you eventually become the culture. And I think that's especially with what we're trying to do with our music and everything like that, and trying to bring back this like grunge Texas rock and roll kind of thing is it's not mainstream yet, but with everything that's coming out of Texas, with the way we're pushing, with people being like, oh, you guys aren't cowboy or you guys aren't this. And it's like, okay, keep saying that. We're going to keep making music. And eventually we're going to do this so well that we're going to become the culture. And that's what's going to happen, and people are going to resonate with this music. And that's something that's very important to me when we think about branding, we think about stuff like that, because
it's the meme of the girls looking back like they're at the house party and they're looking back and they're like when and they have the little stuffy face and it's like when you play their favorite song before it's their favorite song.
yes.
You're like, really? You're gonna tell me that like all those sorority girls that like are obsessed with Tyler Childers now? You're gonna tell me when that dude first started and he showed up looking the way he does? If he came and played at their sorority house,
Like, oh my god.
you think they would have immediately been like, "I love this"? No, not a shot.
Well, I think that's like I have a whole theory where I think right now, I think Texas right now in this decade is going to be what Seattle was. Like, let me rephrase this. Texas right now for rock and roll and like this southern rock is going to be what Seattle was for grunge in the 90s.
Hot take,
That's
bro.
I think I vehemently like between us, between Treaty Oak, between Cole Barnhill, between Sterling Elza, between everybody that's coming up and making this like it's southern. There's some twang in there, but you're like this isn't country music. I think that is going to be the next step, because if you think music is cyclical, right? And so the 90s country was really big, and then you kind of had the post 9/11 country music, and then it became stadium country, and everybody's like it became bro country, and I was like this sucks, we don't like this, right? But it was making
Some
money.
people did.
Some people did.
And it was quintessentially like Southeastern.
Yes. And but it was making money. And so the labels went, we need to do this because it's making money. And then they made Stadium Country, and everyone's like,
I'm out.
I'm out.
But they
Then-
didn't know they were out until some new stuff
Yes.
was there to replace it.
Yes. And so everyone was like, this kind of sucks. And then rock and roll came, and you got Kings of Leon, you got the Black Keys, you got Arctic Monkeys, you got those in the early 2000s, you got Cage the Elephant. And then everybody went, rock and roll is making money.
Well, I would even put some of the folky sensibilities in there with Mumford and Sons and the Lumineers and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Which really, the Black Keys and Mumford and Sons have more similarities than like.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
I mean, like Jason Aldean is on a completely different planet. Those two things compared to him have so much similarities.
Yes.
You know?
And I think so then they went, okay, well, rock and roll is making money. We need to go make stadium rock. And then you got the very like, is this rock and roll? Why are there 808s in this?
What
feels
would that
weird.
be?
I don't want to call anybody out because that's not like what I.
Oh, well, we're not talking about whether or not somebody should like it or not.
It's like
what would that's one that I don't know what that would be.
Man, so it's like God, I have so many racing through my brains because I'm saying this in a negative connotation and I don't want to like It's the
Well, you had no problem talking about bro country in a negative connotation.
yeah, that's true.
Which
But I didn't name
I'm-
names. But I didn't name names. That's all.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, well, I didn't. So
Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean. Dude, I always make the joke in my live show where I'm like, if you guys like what you hear, my name's Jarrod Morris. If you don't like what you hear, my name is Florida Georgia Line. Or I just do like any of those names.
Well, it's more of like the.
And it's not a personal thing.
Yeah.
They're probably great dudes. Like, whatever. I just don't like that type of music.
Yeah. That's real. That's real.
It's not like life or death here. We're talking about music.
Yeah, I know. It's just so many. Like I try to make sure that we are the most unproblematic band of all.
But
time.
I don't know what is the 808 Stadium Rock thing.
So it's like you took away the very. It's like Katy Perry.
Okay.
Like you remember Dark Horse by Katy Perry,
Mhm.
where it's like touch me to the whatever that fucking song.
Are you trying to trick me into singing it?
No.
It almost worked. I just nail it. I know
yeah,
every word.
you know, like yeah. But it's kind of like that, or I just don't know how to like describe it. But it's the very we have like it's heavily auto-tuned vocals. We're kind of singing just about nothing really, and there's not like the guitar licks aren't interesting. It's very formulaic. It's like verse, chorus, bridge, like all of that kind of.
But this wouldn't be
vibe.
stuff coming out of the country.
No.
format.
This
Okay,
is just
so like-
rock. This is just
Okay.
rock. And so
Okay.
I think that happened, and everyone was like, music kind of sucks. And then I think Zach Bryan happened,
Mhm.
and I think people were like, "Oh, this feels original. This feels like a breath of fresh air." And he was the first one through the gate, proverbially, like because he was the first one that really got. Excuse me. He was the first one that really got social media kind of figured out with YouTube.
Well, also stylistically, how you produce a record. He
Mhm.
just went the opposite direction, where everything was sounding super slick and super
Yes.
synthetic.
Because it was it was that stadium
Mhm.
like, oh, we can make money off of this, right? Like that's kind of where it came back, where the industry was
Make
like,
everything sound huge and
yes,
ginormous.
Yes, and we
Yeah.
need to, and that's so he did that. Zach Bryan comes back, and then I think that paves the way for people to be like, I really like Zach Bryan. I want to look more for this, and they find Ryan Bingham, they find Coulter Wall, they find Tyler Childers, they find Sierra Farrell. And then country becomes the biggest genre in the world. Last year, I think it grew 20%, and all country festivals were the top earning festivals in the world last year. And now the industry is going, we need to make money off of this. And I don't think this is wrong by the artists that are doing this, but then you see like Beyonce put out a country album. I don't necessarily think that like, I think that's well within her right. I think there are some wonderful songs on there. I think Post put out a country album. Chappell Roan did a country song. Sabrina Carpenter did a country song. So now everybody's being like, this is where it is. And I think we're heading back to stadium country. And I think hopefully what I'm hoping is going to come out of that is people are going to be angry. They're going to be like, I don't want to listen to this polished crap
Rock and roll.
anymore. And then that's where we come in and we go, hey, here's something new. Here is this Texas rock and roll grunge style thing that feels new. And I think Treaty Oak's going to be the first one out the gate. But I think people are already like starting to look for more of that. And they're going, hey, we want this.
Well, would you
rock and roll,
concede that
Co
definitely was a spearheaded that?
Cross Canadian Ragweed
Well,
was the
yeah, no, yeah,
Cross Canadian
absolutely, yeah,
Ragweed
yeah.
was
True.
But I think Co
Yeah,
absolutely.
you talk about somebody that loved grunge. Cody Canada, come on.
And I think Co did it, and I think Co did it, but he, especially with the way High Road kind of popped off and became that like country number one, I think that might have cemented him a little there. I don't want to speak on his like what he thinks his genre is, but I think he's definitely in that. Like I think if like what I'm hoping is if Co is in the analogy of evolution, if Co is like the monkey and Treaty Oak is the missing link, I hope we are the next, like I hope we're the next evolution of that, where it's like, you know, Co, like Cross Canadian Ragweed happened, Co came along, he was super instrumental in that like Texas rock and roll thing. Treaty Oak took it another level. I'm hoping then, you know, the people that are in our scene, we take it another level and it's like, hey, this is something new, and it turns into what, you know, what it turns into what Seattle was in the 90s for grunge. And that's what Texas becomes. That's kind of
That's an exciting
that's my
thought.
hope.
That's a very exciting thought. I haven't heard anybody actually explain it as well as you did.
Yeah. And I think it's real. And I think there's some great bands coming out of North Carolina too. Like I think like Appalachian and Texas rock and roll are about to just take over the world. Cause it is this very, like these are Southern country lyrics. These feel very folksy and they feel like this, but it's with a heavy guitar and it's angry and it's, it's country Rage Against the Machine. And that's the vibe.
Yeah, it's something that hadn't been done.
Yeah. And we're not doing it intentionally either, I think. Because so many people are like, why are you, when did you make the decision to go? And it's like, we didn't. Like, our bass player worked on a rig. Our guitar player fucking laid concrete. Our lead singer flipped burgers. They all grew up in a town of 700 people. I went to school out west. I went to Abilene, and we just all loved, the two things to do in Abilene are you either go to church or you go to the honky tonk. And that's it. And so, I was spending all my nights there and I was listening to Randy Rogers and I was listening to George Strait and I was listening to Turnpike. And you fall in love with that and you get so obsessed with that culture. But then you're like, oh, Alice in Chains is one of the best bands in the entire world. And you just listen to both and it's so
Do you ever
fluid.
feel it's a little weird when people ask for influences? When you grow up in Texas and you're so heavily influenced by like Texas country or red dirt country, and it's such a part of your upbringing and the culture that at times I forget to talk about it because it seems so obvious to me. Like if somebody says like, "What's your influences?" I'm usually looking for like some obscure, like I would be like, "Oh man, Alice in Chains," and where people are like, "Really?" I mean, what about like Randy Rogers? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well,
it's in my DNA.
yeah." It's almost like I forget that like I have to even say that. I feel like it's like unspoken.
It's almost like,
Well, you don't like Robert Earl Keen? I'm like, yes. What? What?
dude, it's almost like you view it the same way you view it as like Taylor Swift, where it's like where people are like, oh, I really love like pop stars, like I love I love Suki Waterhouse and I love these people. And like, you don't like Taylor Swift? And it's like, well, yeah, it's fucking Taylor Swift. We're not,
What
we're not
talking about.
Yeah, what do you mean? And oh my gosh, because we have a TikTok series that we'll do where it's called songs I thought went triple platinum, but actually no one knows what they are, and I'm just from Texas.
Hold on, say that again. Say what you just said.
Songs that I thought went triple platinum, but nobody actually knows what they are, and I'm just from Texas. So this would be Corpus Christi Bay. This would be Snake Farm by Ray Wiley Hubbard. This would be In Your Arms Instead by Randy Rogers Band. It would be like Diamonds and Gasoline.
Dude, like Oklahoma Breakdown.
Oklahoma Breakdown is a it'd be like Oklahoma Breakdown. It would be like, I think Heartache Medication. No, John Party's like that. Never mind. He's got, I think that song went really, and also damn shame that none of these are platinum songs because they should be.
It's crazy.
Phenomenal.
But when you're somewhere else in the country and like somebody knows it, it's like, oh, holy cow.
Or you're talking to people and they're like, oh, like, what's that? Like, I have a 7 and 7 tattoo. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is for Turnpike. And they're like, they look at me like I just shot their kid.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
crazy.
Turnpike Troubadours, the greatest country band of all time. What do you mean? They're the best ever.
I went to college down in South Florida for a little bit, and that's where I first started like playing out at bars and whatnot. And there was one dude one night, I still remember him. I can remember his face, and he was like, "Play some CCR," and then some other lady was like, "Yeah, play some Creedence," and he was like, "No, screw that, bro." He's like, "Play like Boys from Oklahoma or something." And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was all the way down in South Florida. And then we ended up like having drinks all night. But he was the only, so I played it. And he was the only one in that place that knew what it was. And everybody in there was like, "This is great. What is this?" So we like showed them all Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Do you fuck with Hayes Carl?
Yeah, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Bad Liver and a Broken Heart.
Bad liver and a broken heart.
I think one of the greatest lyrics of all time is it's the down verse after the guitar solo in that song. And he goes, I think it's I'll get old before I'm through. No, it's I'll get old before I'm through with this. who's the president? What year is it? And I think that's one of my favorite lines. It's I
So funny
love that
too, because
song.
like if somebody listened to y'all's music, or I mean, even a lot of my music, you know, they would sometimes have a hard time hearing those influences, and they'd be like, but I guess that's what's funny about making something that's unique. It's like unless you sound exactly like your influences, then it's like they're not influences, which is weird to me. They can be influences, but it's supposed to be sort of at a subconscious level. I'm not interested in just copying them,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
I don't
I
want
don't
some
want to.
yeah, I don't want somebody to tell me like you sound exactly like Randy Rogers.
Yeah,
Why would I want that?
because then you're just like
To me, it's like ripping them off too.
we have that like when we write, we have those discussions very heavily where it's like, well, we could do this, and then we're like, fuck, like Co did that, or
Yeah.
like so it's like shit, like it's super cool, like I wish we could, but it's like
Yeah.
like and not that we don't like they're phenomenal fucking artists. It's
Yeah.
just like we don't want to be the we don't want to be the band that it's like, well, they're only popular because they ripped off Treaty Oak Revival or they ripped off Co. And it's like we want to be held in the same like name as them. And
Way
it's
harder to do
like,
though.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
It's-
but I don't know if people think about it enough. That's why I like talking about it, because like I don't know if people. It's something has changed, and I don't know where it changed. When I first started playing music, people used to say like, "Oh, you sound just like so and so," but they would say it like it was a negative thing. It was kind of a dig.
yeah.
And something changed recently where now people say
It's
it like it's
awesome.
a compliment. And that's weird to me. I don't know where that came from. We're in like a phase of copycats, and like they're almost like tribute acts that sound exactly like something else, but then they write their own original material, but it's really not original. They sound exactly like something else.
I think it's this because of social media and because like 30 seconds of a song lives online and people are like, I want this feeling over and over and over again. There's a lot of people that are like, I want more of that. Like I want more songs like that. I want to find that.
Okay.
And so we find ourselves more and more people are like, wow, like we never get the same answer. But it's always like, you guys really remind me of Pearl Jam. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, Pearl Jam?
Yeah, how?
How? I'm like,
No,
that's
but
huge compliment. Thank you.
How it's presented to them and how it makes them feel
Yes.
it
Yes.
reminds them of Pearl Jam.
Yes.
But that shouldn't be confused with and they can say whatever they want. Like I don't know, but it doesn't mean you sound like them.
Well, and I think that's something really important too, because everyone always gets at us because they're like, "You're not a country band," and I'm like, "We never
Stop. I'm
We
not
never-
trying.
hey,
Chill.
we said sad cowboy music.
Yeah.
We never said sad country music. That was intentional.
And if
we-
if you listen to what most cowboys listen to,
Yeah,
they're not getting on a bronc going Amarillo.
by
my boy."
it's like, dude, I know more welders and blue collar workers that are turning on "Bleed the Freak"
Yeah.
by Alice in Chains or listening to Lithium or going and listening to Deftones, and it's like they're listening to Change by Deftones, and then the next song is Sleeping on the Blacktop by Coulter, and like it's the same reason Nickelback, I believe, has headlined 3 country festivals this year. I believe Creed was at Stagecoach. Bush just got announced for 2026 Stagecoach.
Was Bush glycerin?
Glycerin.
Okay.
Yeah. And like Bush and I think like Candlebox.
Dude, we should every song we bring up, we could do like a drinking game. Where it's like if you bring up if you say a song title and right after it, if you don't sing part of it,
You got to drink.
you get a drink.
Glycerin. Too bad I'm not the singer for Dexter and The Moonrocks.
Yeah, that's not fair.
I'm so sorry.
I have to sing it.
yeah.
But
No, I'll
you
sing
have
it.
to play the drum
I'll
part. You have to
listen.
sing the drum
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Glycerin would be a tough one because the hook.
There is no drums.
There's no
that
drums.
song, hey, I want that. Listen, I need to look into the camera. Glycerin by Bush pisses me the fuck off. I've gone on a rant about this. Great song. I fucking hate that song because all it is it is a 3-minute blue ball tease of just like, it's a grunge song where you're like, I can't wait for the big swell that the drums kick into this song. And then the whole time Bush is just like, fuck you.
Yeah, no
like
doubt.
it's
It is
so
bizarre.
annoying.
What's the other huge Bush song?
It's- oh my
or I'm probably not thinking of the right. Is it Bush? Hold on. I know Bush is Glycerin, but isn't there
Think
another?
about Candlebox when he comes out in Eastbound and Down and he's like, "Don't bury him yet. I'd like to contribute to the speeches."
Oh, it's not Glycerin, or it's not. Bush. What the? Oh, I'm thinking of Shimmer.
Oh, um, it just got big.
It did. It did. Just popped off again.
Needle.
I thought about covering it. I thought it'd be a cool
Needle.
cover.
I just looked it up, man. I just set that as my
Oh,
alarm.
it is.
Actually.
Call me from the phone. Fuel. Just to get
Oh,
that
oh, oh.
pass, thinking I was able.
Wait, then we're thinking of two different songs. Cause damn it.
No, Shimmer's the. Oh, this will probably get taken down, won't it? If I play this.
Oh, tragic.
Thinking I was able.
Oh, okay.
Da,
Yeah,
da, 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 da. Fuel. But that kind of does remind me of Bush a little bit. Anyways, sorry.
it's fine.
I digress. Do you want another drink?
No, I got one.
Okay. Do you want to light those cigars?
I actually, yeah.
I'm going to get a little more topo here.
Okay, I love that. Do you have a cutter?
I already cut it.
Am I-
You were about to
Oh,
suck
there
on
we
the
go.
wrong side.
I was, dude.
It's a little V cut.
That's embarrassing.
It's incredibly embarrassing.
Hey.
Luckily, this isn't on camera.
That's a. Well, luckily, this isn't recording and gonna be on the
I
internet
got some
for.
fancy matches for you, too.
Dude, this is so nice.
I'm going to make myself another drink.
Heck yeah.
Start talking.
Yeah, no, I'll keep talking. I'll keep everybody entertained. So, what's really funny to actually find out is that did you know that NASCAR is a direct result from Prohibition? Because basically, what happened is Prohibition gets enacted, right? And actually, Prohibition is directly responsible for the mafia and for NASCAR. So Prohibition happens, right? And people are like, "Hey, we still want to get drunk. We don't have union rights. Everything sucks." And so they start sneaking into speakeasies. And so Al Capone and all these mobsters, Italian mob, Irish mafia, all that stuff, they're making money off of selling alcohol illegally, right? And so they're having to brew this moonshine, and the cops are catching on, and they're trying to chase the vehicles. And so they take these old Model T cars and they strip them out to make them lighter, essentially making the first like souped up car. And so like kind of like a street racer. And so they do this so they can put moonshine in them to make them go faster so they can outrun the cops. So they've got all these souped up cars. They're running moonshine. They're making buckets of money off of this. And then Prohibition gets repealed because everybody's like, hey, the world actually sucks. We need to drink more alcohol. And so they repeal Prohibition. But at this point, Al Capone, Irish Mafia, all that stuff, they already have buckets of money. They start moving into gambling. They start moving into all that stuff. So that establishes them, like the Prohibition money was basically seed money for them to create the mafia and like the empire that was. And then they have all these leftover souped up cars that go really fast. And they're like, shit,
Let's race them.
we kind of want to race these. And that eventually leads to like drag racing, and then it leads to NASCAR. So Prohibition directly responsible for NASCAR and the mob.
Did you know that that's how horse racing started too?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I made that up, but
Oh.
it did feel. It felt right.
Did it?
It felt right coming out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, when did you go down that rabbit hole?
It's actually just like a connection that I made. I was originally, I was like, I could be a stand-up comic, and that was going to be a part of like a stand-up routine that I had. And then I was like, I'm not going to be a stand-up comic.
What changed that?
I wasn't as funny as I thought I was.
You're pretty
You
freaking
know,
funny, dude.
I wasn't as.
I mean, I think that your like music career is evidence that you're incredibly witty, and
I
you
appreciate
think about
that.
things in a different, like in a
Yeah.
alternative way.
I try to.
Oh,
think
there's no
about it.
doubt about it, dude.
You have to.
The amount of people that will look at y'all's social media and laugh at their phone.
That's because most of that shit is like stuff that makes me laugh. I think that's the biggest part is so many people are trying to be so forced on TikTok where they're like, oh, well, I saw Gavin Adcock do this. So I need to go and I need to do X, Y, and Z. Or it's like, hey, if you find yourself, sending a meme to your friend that's like me when the 6'10" goth mommy steps on my throat and you're like, this is funny. And you send it. That's what.
Why would you not?
Why
be
would you
doing
not?
that
Why would
for
you
your-
not recreate that? Why would you not make the? Like I think some of my favorite memes are like the, hey, if you see me at the honky tonk getting my ass kicked by a 5'10" brunette in cowboy boots, don't help me. I'm exactly where I want to be. Like that's how I feel about my wife. Like I hope she starts beating the shit out of me in the middle of the bar. Like that's hot as shit. And it's like, yeah, like why would I not make funny little meme? Like
Is it weirder for you to like it, or is it weirder for somebody to like watching it?
That's a great question. Are you to pivot off of that question?
Oh, what a strong word.
to pivot?
Wow.
Yeah.
You just slide in some quick corporate jargon on me? I'm not letting that slide.
Did you ever hit someone with "let's circle back"?
No, that has ran its course. You are a sociopath if you're still saying circle back.
That's my I'm done with you and I'm gonna punch you in the face. if
Oh,
we
in an
keep talking
email? In
about
an email, I was just circling back. Dude, pivot's strong, though. I also stumbled on bifurcate.
Oh, dude. Oh man.
One of my buddies is in finance, and he hit the group text with one of those the other day, like it's bifurcating something, and I was like, "Wow,
We just
that one was hot though." Like, you know, I mean, you don't hear people throwing that one around very often.
I remembered what I was.
What was
gonna
the
say.
pivot, though?
No,
Yeah.
thank you, because I was about to be like, we just did my biggest pet peeve in podcasting is when they bring up a topic, don't ever
Don't
address
ever
it,
go
and
back.
then never answer the
Yeah.
question. So you said something about is it better to like it or better to watch? Right. That's essentially
Okay,
that's
well, but we are clear about the context,
yeah,
correct?
yes. Yeah. I'm pivoting to something worse.
Because Michael just clipped that one
Yeah.
spot.
Are you familiar with the guy on TikTok who does this might have to get cut out and I'm so sorry. I don't care if this gets cut out, but there's a guy on TikTok who does the cuck chair, which is I don't know if you know what this is, but when you enter a hotel room, there's always that random chair in the corner,
Oh yeah.
and his whole TikTok
Sorry,
account.
I don't know why I said it like
no,
that.
no, that's what you said it like you knew, dude. But he reviews them. Like that's his whole bit is he goes into hotel rooms and he'll just be like, this one was a 7 out of 10, doesn't look super comfortable. Like that's his whole TikTok. And he's got like hundreds of thousands of followers.
It's probably one of the funniest.
It's like Freebird's playing in the background as he just like slowly pans to this, like he's in a shitty motel and it just pans to this just like chair in the corner.
But it has to be right before he's going into the solo.
Free as a bird. Or like he's playing like an Alice in Chains song, or like Glycerin by Bush could be playing or something like that.
Glycerin. You have to. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, and he built an entire massive following off of one style and one piece of funny content.
Yeah. There's so many, like there's a guy out there.
I hate the word content, but video. It's
Why
just videos.
Why do you hate the word content?
It's just video because everything is content. It's just so non-descriptive. It annoys me. It's a video, right?
Well, that's the thing that like we're shifting to.
Because music, the song is content, technically.
We're shifting to like this idea that it shouldn't be content, it should be entertainment.
There you go.
So you're not making like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, don't view those as social media platforms. You should view them as entertainment platforms. You should, exactly what you were saying earlier, you should view all of those platforms like MTV. And instead of taking, $50,000 and making a 4-minute long, super cool MTV music video, you're going to take $5,000 and you're going to make 10, 30-second mini MTV music videos.
Dude, yeah. I mean, looking at some people that struggle on social media, and I've been there too, where it's like, why aren't my followers seeing my stuff? And it's easy to fall into the temptation of being like, oh, I need to say something about the fact that nobody's interacting with my stuff. It's tempting, but think about it in the context of like, does that make you actually more interested in, is that entertaining? Does that make you more interested in what they're doing? For them to just go like, wow, nobody's listening to my music.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
If you were watching MTV and that was the music video of them going, wow, why is nobody listening to my song? That's a weird thing to put on MTV, and it would never make it. So why are you doing it on TikTok?
And that's the biggest thing too, is it's a hard thing to realize, and it took me 9 months to realize this, is because little backstory, and I'll get to this.
Make it quick though.
So-
We've only got 2 hours left.
I know. Everybody, if you just want to press the 2 times button on this podcast right now so you can skip through this, feel free.
Every time they stop, it's just us singing another song. They're like, God,
They can't get to the right spot.
What are the odds? It's always Glycerin.
They keep going on terrible tangents. But so when we started, man, I started our TikTok account December 13th, of 2021. I know the exact date. And since then, I have posted 3,782 videos,
So that's
which
4 years ago.
4 years ago, which equates to roughly 2 a day with no breaks, no days off. It took me 9 months to get our first viral video. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And like I'm not the case, by the way, right? You can look at like I am the rule, I am not the exception. Like Gigi Perez, you can look at someone like her, you can look at Oliver Anthony. Like those happen. Those are lightning bolt moments. Are you, the person listening to this out there, probably going to be one of those people? Odds are probably not. Does it mean your music sucks? No, it just means the fate of the universe has not
Are you
blessed
gonna hit the
today.
lottery or not?
Yeah, it's literally,
no.
are you going to hit the lottery or not? And so it took 9 months to figure out how not to make a video. And in those 9 months, we'd get videos that would, that would be 30,000 views. And then we'd get some that had 300. And like, this doesn't make any sense. And I kind of resulted to this idea that like, oh, we're shadow banned. They don't like this idea that we're talking about like, you know, which is so fucking bullshit to say, but it's like they don't like the idea that we're talking about like being alternative and like in country music. Like, all right, Xi Jinping over in China is not like being like, we need to ban that account because they're getting a little too weird. They're getting a little too fluid with the genres. They're getting a little too.
This is Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
This is not country music.
Yeah, this is not like Xi Jinping's not like, this sounds nothing like George Strait. You need to
shadow ban.
And I was having that like victim mentality, and I think that's so much easier than just looking myself in the face and being like, "Hey, our content sucks." Like the stuff that we are making, it is not entertaining. It is not providing value to someone, right? Because your songs don't have to do that. Your songs can be art. I think that's really important for people to understand. Is your song can be a 17 you can be Andre 3000, or I think he made a 47-minute long flute album, right? But you have to sell that album because to some people they do want a 47-minute flute album, right? But you have to sell it. That's what you have to do. You have to figure out how do I get people to pay attention? And once that flipped in my mind and once I realized, hey, I believe in this so much. I believe in this to the core of my being that I would rather die before this fails, that I wake up every morning and it's all I think about. It consumes me to the point where like my wife has had to have conversations with me of like, you need to be present when you're home. You cannot be thinking about like, what's the next video going to be look like? How do I write this song? What does this look like? What does the band's next 9 months look like? Right? It has to consume you to that point that you love it, that you realize like I have to sell this. I have to be entertaining. I have to pitch this in a way that makes someone want to consume it. That makes someone want to believe in it. The art doesn't have to necessarily be like that. But I knew that if people just listened to the songs, if we could just get their foot in the door, if we could just get you to listen to 30 seconds of Couch, of Where I Steer, of Bleach, of Ritalin, of any of those songs, we would have you. We would have you for the rest of your life. You would become a fan because you would like us, you would like our story, and you would like the message that we were doing. So I said, okay, how do we provide the best service for people that feels real and authentic, that they feel like they have a home? And that kind of just became, okay, well, how would I make friends with somebody? And it would be like, well, I'd send them a funny meme, or I'd crack jokes with them, or I'd get into this. And like our songs are so obscure and like they're such a weird genre that we can't really be like, this is a song about like my friend who died. And then people are like, wow, 100,000 views. There are people out there who can do that, by the way. There are incredible songwriters out there. That's their whole pitch. That didn't feel like it was us. And it was also a lot harder too because it was me doing the social media. I'm our fucking drummer. I should not be the face of this band. And so that's how you get the wall of hot tattooed women. That's how you get the funny like memes. That's how you get the shit posting. And it's created a community where they feel so engaged with us that, we'll go to a market that we've never played before and they'll be like, here's 500 tickets. And we're like, oh shit, that's
Crazy.
crazy. That's like happening, Like for reference, like if the band of our size going to a place that, and this is not an ego thing at all. This is just like I think of referencing like a band of our size going to a market we've never played before. Usually you do 75 to 150
Bro,
tickets.
there's
Like
major uh labels that have artists signed that they've given a lot of money and they've pumped a lot of money into their careers and they can't go sell Freakin'. They just go play festivals and county fairs because that's the only way they're gonna have any people around. They have number one hits on the radio and they can't sell 500 tickets in most any market.
yeah.
So yeah, it's very real, and it sounds like because every I mean that's the tough thing about being like a more indie artist or I don't know, like at the level that maybe our world is at that like 500 tickets, even if you said 100 tickets, like that sounds like a lot to me in most markets. Because of the lack of like money that's truly been pumped into it.
Yeah.
When you compare it to some other people, but the problem is like everybody's comparing every other artist to like Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen and Post Malone. And it's like, no. There's a whole world underneath that. Like that, those aren't even those are like entities. Those are not even
Those and
that's not them.
and that's something too that like you've also had to realize is anyone who's getting into like stuff and you're like, oh, I want to push my band more on social or my music more on social media. Hey, don't read the fucking comments. That's gonna be the worst thing you can do for your like.
Or if you are, have fun with it.
Yeah, or if you are, be the most antagonizing. Don't take it personally because comparison is the thief of joy, and that is the biggest mantra that I've had to just live on. Is because you look at, you're like, man. I mean, it does come up and bite you a little bit, where you're like, like, man, we're making this music and it feels so awesome, and it's like, but why can't we be as big as Coetzel? Why can't we be as big as Parker McCollum? Why can't we be as big as these bands? Like, I feel like we work hard enough. Our music's good enough. Why isn't that? And you just have to be like, hey, you can't think like that. Because if you think like that, or if you go, well, we filmed a video of James, our lead singer, singing in a staircase, and Sierra Farrell sang in a staircase. Her video got 1 million views. Our video got 5,000. Why can't it's the same thing? Why don't people resonate? And like, if you continue to compare like that, it only ruins your mental health more and more and more. And it only ruins your art too, because then you start reaching and you start being like, okay, how do I sell my soul to, how do I do the catchy gotcha? Like, if you tag 3 friends in this video, or whatever, it's the ones where it's like your third owed you a pizza in the comments or something, like whatever, like you're
Yeah.
doing those things and it's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get engagement on that for sure, but you're not gonna build a community off of that. And people may listen to your music, but they're not gonna
Yeah,
like
like
it.
how often do people put out stuff where they don't ask for anything? Like just let it stand alone. Like do
Mm.
something cool that you think is cool and let it stand alone and don't ask
And
for
be proud of
anything.
it.
And
Be proud of it. Put the full weight of your
But
being
be honest
behind
with
it.
yourself.
Yeah.
If you saw it, would you think it's entertaining?
Yes. Like, do you enjoy it? Like, and
Yeah.
that's like, do you think it's funny? Do you like it? And that's the biggest thing, because you're gonna put out stuff that you like, and it's gonna fucking bomb, dude. Oh my god, I've spent hours on videos that I've been like, this is it. This is the trend.
Yeah, and I've
That's gonna
spent it on
launch.
songs and then nobody cares. Nobody likes it. I
Real,
mean, come
real
on.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, because like man, I've written songs that I've just been like, man, this is like awesome. And then we put it out and it's just like, oh, nobody fucks with this song.
Yeah.
Nobody likes this song at all.
Yeah.
Um,
It is weird too that there might even be songs that just don't they're I don't like I don't want to use the word impossible, but they seem very, very difficult to connect like video and social media
yeah.
with that song.
Some songs are harder than others. You are
Right?
correct.
And there's some that
Absolutely.
just seem to freaking just
They just work.
they just work. And like we definitely we're in a phase right now of like things need to be like memeable, so you can like reverse engineer some things on the way you might like write a song to whether or not it might or the part of the song that you use, and trying to like
Yeah.
memify it or something.
Yeah.
And you can get lost in that sauce too. But I just think people get way too worked up about the social media stuff and making video. And they get so angry about it and so dead set on like not wanting to do it. And I'm like, well, Find an element of it that you do like. Like, why do you hate your videos so much? Do something else.
You don't have to do like
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough to people. I cannot stress this enough. For a year and a half, I printed out photos of hot women on the internet that had tattoos, that had significant followings on TikTok. I pinned it to a wall and then I said, "Hey, if this is your taste in women, you would like listening to our music." I need to repeat that for everybody listening. For a year and a fucking half, that was the entire marketing strategy of this band because it was funny and it worked. And we got close to 1 million monthly listeners off of that. We got,
Yeah, but
dude,
that idea probably came around by y'all yucking it up
that
together
was
and
just
go,
me fucking around.
wouldn't this be funny?
That was idea 38.
Yeah.
That was me being like, okay, this didn't work. That like it literally came of a spur of a moment of like, this would be a funny one-off bit.
Yeah.
And just doing it as like I'm gonna do like a funny conspiracy theory wall and just be like, oh, like women with tattoos listen to music like this. Our music sounds like this. Crazy. And like that was it. And then people were like, more of this. And then that just kind of took off. And then I never really shut it down because I got married and it was hard to be like, look at these hot women when
Yeah,
like I love my wife.
Yeah,
So that was kind
yeah.
of that was
Sure.
that was a hard thing.
Dude, that's a real
Uh,
thing to consider.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But like no idea is a bad idea, and I think so many people are like, no, I have to stand in front of a camera and I have to have a microphone and I have to sing into it, and then it doesn't do well for the first 3 videos and then they hate it, but they're like, I have to keep doing this, and it's like, no,
Whatever.
you can
Yeah.
be whoever you want to be and do like I've seen bands have success because they went into like Skate 3 and they modded their Skate 3 character to look like Jesus Christ and then they put their music behind Jesus Christ skateboarding.
Exactly.
And then it's like this song gets 1 million streams a month now.
And so that goes back to my point that like I people can be good musicians and stuff, and but there's like this next layer of creativity with being able to connect with someone that I find to be more interesting. Like I don't get super jazzed if somebody's just like not interested in the photography and they're not interested in like the videos, and it's like, no, I just play music. And I'm like, well, that's one creative endeavor, but I'm very interested in people that are good at all encompassing creative endeavors that are involved in all of that. Like,
Cuz why would you not? Like you
I
have
know, yeah, I
it's
agree. Why
it's
would you not?
the
Like,
could you
I want to be able to communicate. Like, communicating my music goes deeper than just playing it.
Because think about this, right? I think Nirvana is such a huge influence just because again I come back to that whole they were counterculture until they became the culture, right? Alice in Chains is way more influential on me musically. I love the 90s grunge. I love Alice in Chains. I got them tattooed on my body. I'm wearing an Alice in Chains shirt right now. They're more influential on me musically. Nirvana is more influential on me culturally. Because could you imagine if they just said, man, yeah, we just write songs and we don't really fucking care about what the album art looks like. And we don't care about what our merch looks like. And
Weird.
we don't care about our perception with our
Yeah.
fans. And there's that video of them finding out Madonna's selling tickets for like $65 and they're like, that's insane. Like, and
Right.
could you imagine if people just didn't, but they did care about that. And that's what made the cover of Nevermind one of the most iconic album covers of all time. It's what made the Smiley Face t-shirt one of the most recognizable t-shirts ever. And it's because you have intention behind that art and you have the ability through everything that you do to make like impacts, and your merch can be worn some like that's something that I take really great pride into is our merch is like a lot of people have fought this against us actually where they've been like, no, your merch needs to be like it just needs to say Dexter and the Moonrocks and like your tour dates on it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Our diehard fans might like that, but who's gonna wear that because it looks cool? Who's gonna wear that because they think it's a part of like the the culture or the vibe or they feel like it fits into them like the same way that you may look at a Vans t-shirt or like someone looks at a Pearl Snap where they're like, this is how I
Cool.
feel.
Cool.
This is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And so that's something where every merch design that we do, I'm like, I want it to be a shirt first. And I want it to be something cool to where someone could walk into it in a PacSun or in a buckle or something like that and look at it and be like, "Oh, this looks cool. I'll buy it." And then someone walks up to him and goes, "Oh, I love that band. Name 5 songs." And they go, "I didn't know this was a band."
Sure.
Like that's what I cuz that's a way better conversation starter if you're talking to me and you're like, "Whoa, that's a super sick shirt. Where'd you get it?" And I'm like, "Actually, it's a band." And you're like, "Oh, that's cool." Instead of just like plastered,
But it's care.
yeah, you
Yeah.
cuz and you
And
have
I
to.
understand some people are better at certain things than other people, and you might have limitations on what you might be good at. But I kind of don't buy that even. Like you can get better at things. Like it's not you didn't just wake up one day and like know how to design t-shirts and you know what I mean? Like you can learn it. You can figure it out. But not caring about it, apathy is as I've always hated apathy, and as I get older, apathy is by far my least favorite attribute.
Like what?
Which is funny because Nirvana's thing was like all supposed to be apathy, but I didn't buy it.
But
I
here's the
didn't buy
thing.
it.
So one of the best gifts my wife got me, she got me a full photocopied. It's all of Kurt Cobain's journals that they found throughout his entire life, photocopied into one book.
Wow.
And if you read some of that
Yeah, you're gonna
stuff,
tell me that guy didn't care?
oh my! I mean,
Yeah, give me a break.
he was kicking Dave Grohl out. There's a letter of him that I think he either scrapped or something, but it's a three like page letter, basically him being like, Dave, we have to kick you out because we want to practice 5 times a week, and you live an hour and a half away, and you can't make the drive.
Yeah.
Which Dave Grohl's the most iconic drummer of all time, and Kurt was like, you're not taking it seriously enough. We're gonna kick you out, and so like I think their apathy was towards society, it was towards the government, it was towards like how people perceive them, and I love that. Like fuck the government. You heard it here first, folks. Um
That's a true Texan right there.
yeah, fuck the government. Which is hilarious because my wife works for the government.
What does she do?
She's in the Navy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
But I love like I'm a big like you I love like you gotta love the soldiers. Like they're not the ones fucking
No, bro.
it's because dude, people like
But
we'll
like
post.
if I'm sitting next to a senator at the bar, I'm just gonna be like, politely, dude, I don't care
Hey,
about
you're
talk.
70 and you
Yeah.
can collect Social Security.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be a US senator
Yeah,
anymore.
and you're already rich.
And
Yeah.
maybe
Because you didn't really provide anything to society.
yeah,
So
I'm 24 and I don't have health care because it's too expensive. Granted, I am a musician. I get that.
I
But
have healthcare.
good for you. We
ju-
don't yet.
I pay for it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
working on getting health care. Um
But then there's a bunch of people that have healthcare too, and they don't pay for it, but I'm paying for it. And that's also the government. They just get to decide who they're going to help and who they're not going to help, which is BS, man. I don't need daddy government doing any of that. I got a daddy.
um
You know, his name is Dexter and The Moonrocks.
oh,
He's
hey
my
yo.
daddy.
Hey yo.
Hey-o.
Um Yeah, but I mean, I get the apathy of like back to the whole Nirvana thing. Like they hated the government, but you're gonna tell me you're gonna have apathy for like your art. Like you are in like I am in a fortunate position where I get to I technically speaking, technically, I am being paid a salary to be here and like talk to you and promote the band. That is a part of my job.
Sure.
That isn't I am on the clock drinking beer and smoking a cigar and having a great conversation with you. That is incredibly lucky. That is insane. There are people out there working 12-hour shifts on rigs, on ranches, on like construction. Like that is could not express how wonderful it is to be here and be doing this. And so why would I have apathy for that art and those people who support that? And like I can have apathy for the people, like I can have apathy for the stadium country.
It
that
is
I think
tough though
is
because it does. There is a part of marketing your music that it does seem like it. It's I've always thought about like an audience as a bit like dating, where it's like if they know you like them when you first start dating somebody, right? You're not supposed to call them like within the first 3 days. Then you come
yeah.
off a little. You're coming on
Can't
a
say I
little
love you too
strong.
soon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't want to know you like you like them, but you'd be okay without them,
Mhm.
right? And you don't like them too much. You're not coming on too strong. Like an audience in ways is kind of like that. They can sense if you want them to like you too much, they're like, oh, easy, easy, dude. You're coming on a little strong. But then if you don't care at all, that's also not something that they want.
See, that's
And
That's
then
so-
and then you can just go forever down that digressing, and then just at some point I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just be myself.
that's something like. I get where you're coming from. That's something that like I never felt because just we have made it a point for me where I always wanted to growing up. I always wanted to be the kid that Dave Grohl called up on stage. I always wanted to be the kid that you see that like I'm a huge baseball guy. I played baseball in college where it's like Mike Trout played catch with an 11-year-old kid before whatever, right? Before batting practice. And so when we first started out, I was like, I'm gonna make a pledge. I'm gonna answer every DM that anybody sends us, unless it's some like weird, freaky shit, where they're like, "Suck my toes" or something. Then I'm gonna be like, no, actually, I'd respond to that because that's
Yeah, you
funny.
probably put it on the.
I would
You
screenshot
probably
that.
did a
Yeah,
response video.
I would
with it.
screenshot that and be like, "This is funny. I'm gonna expose you for this." But like, um, but it was like, because why? Like, you are paying money to see me play, and you are the reason I can pay my mortgage. You are the reason I can almost afford healthcare. You're the reason that I got my wedding paid for because of the stuff we're doing on the road. Like this is a job. And so for me it was like I want to go balls to the wall and be like, "Hey, like I want to be there as much as I can for our fans. And I want to be able to talk like people still DM us and they're like, "Hey, like can you send a video to like my 12-year-old son saying happy birthday?" And I'll be tired as shit on the road and I'll just be like, yeah. And I'll like, I'll look busted as hell, but I'll go into a hotel hallway and I'll be like, "Hey, Braden, happy 12th birthday, man. Really appreciate you being a fan." Cause like that's 15 seconds of my life, 30 seconds of my life that I may never like I did it and I'm not really gonna think about it again. Just because it's like, oh, like that's a cool moment, like whatever. But like that could be the thing for that 12-year-old boy or girl or whatever that makes him go, wow, I want to be a musician. Or I want to be kind. I want to be a good person. I want to
Yeah,
care
like where do
about
you
people.
think you got that from?
Man, I think what really did it for me, I think my parents, obviously, I think they're some of the greatest people in the world, but I think what really did it for me was, man, I was 17 years old and I had a super big obsession with the Black Keys. Just a super big one. It was the first band my sister showed me. I remember she showed me Tighten Up off of a CD in her Jeep in 2012. She had a CD. It was that and Breeze Blocks by Alt J. Um,
I don't know that band.
they're a really weird band. They're
Cool.
super weird. Um, but I got deep into the Black Keys, like deep. There was a point in time where you could play me a Black Keys song, and I could tell you the name of the song, the year it came out, the album it was on, and the order in which it was on that album.
Okay,
So I could
cool.
be like, "Oh, this is the fifth song on their third studio album, and also they got nominated for a Grammy here, here, and here."
Black Keys were
And
big for me too. Not that big, but
I
yeah,
I just became obsessed with them.
yeah.
And right when I became obsessed with them, I was 13 years old. They didn't tour anymore. They weren't touring. They took a 5-year break. And they come back and when I'm 17 years old and I finally have some of my own money and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. No, it was not. I was 19. I was 19 because I missed a baseball practice in college because I had to tell my coach I was like I'm missing practice to go see this and he was like okay. Um, but they came back when I was 19 and I wrote them a 3-page letter. I wrote them a letter that I said, I'm a huge fan of yours. You guys are coming back on tour. There are songs, because they have like 10 studio albums. And I was like, there are songs from like your first and second and third albums that mean a whole lot to me that I see isn't on y'all's set list. Cause you can just Google people's set lists now. And I was like, I see these, like, is there any way you could play them, please? At this show coming up at Dickies Arena. That's where they played.
You sent
And
it to an email you found or something?
no, 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 no.
Instagram.
I hand wrote this motherfucker.
It sent it where?
And they had a mailing address that I sent.
Where'd you find that?
I found it online. I just Googled it. I think it was like their manager's office or some bullshit. And I sent that letter out and they sent me back a handwritten note. Which at the time I thought was signed by them. Now that I'm a little older, I'm like, they didn't sign this fucking letter. Still don't care. I still don't care. They sent me back
The fact they even had that in place to be able to handle it. Yeah.
They sent me a handwritten note. Their new vinyl, their new album on vinyl,
Need to figure out who their management is.
and their CD, brand new. They sent me the whole thing for free, sent to my address, and then they said, when you come to the show, hit us up. Reach out at this email, and we'll take care of you. I came to the show. I reached out to the email. It fell through. I don't really care though because I still got to see him. The letter was super cool, but I was like, that was one of the most like, oh my god, I could be a musician. I could do this. This is super cool. Like this is, and that moment really stuck with me. And so it's like so many people are spending, I mean, it's you gotta, I think you're spending $100 to come see us if it's a date night, right? Because like tickets are about $25. You buy a $35 shirt, maybe you get a drink. It's about $100. And it's like people are spending that money, and
It's a
I
lot of
don't.
money.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
money, man.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think people are entitled to have that like interaction or entitled to get a signature. Like I think there should be some peace. I think there should be some like respect people's boundaries, stuff like that. But it's if you're gonna spend that money, I'm gonna take the time to like I'm gonna take the time to care about you and talk to you and there are fans that have like there are fans that we've only been touring for 2 years. There are fans that have come to 11 shows. And I'm like, holy shit. And they're like, yeah, we flew in from Boston and we're playing in fucking Arizona. I'm like, why are you here? That's crazy. And so, yeah, I mean, it's 30 minutes every day out of my day to respond to everybody's DMs. And it's why would I not do that? Why would I not care that much?
Do you ever miss some?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Or some are just like some are downright like
I mean, some are like big asks.
some are big asks and some are ones where you have to be careful because you don't know if they're scams or not.
Oh yeah.
Where like you don't know what's up with that, or some are like we have stances now where like people be like, hey, can you donate to this charity or stuff like that, and we pick two charities, we support them every year, and that's the stance that we take, just because then if it's like if we do one GoFundMe, then we got to do
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
GoFundMe,
Yeah.
and it's not that we don't care, it's just there's only a finite amount of things we can do.
Yeah, and you can do so many things right and so many good things, and then there's one person that you don't do something for or whatever.
And you miss because you're tired or
Whatever. I mean, or a charity event or something where it's like I can't do it, and then it is unfortunate at times that sometimes that person will then go drag you through the mud, and it's like, well, but you can't really focus on it, because it's like it's not fair, and even if they think you're a terrible person, they still don't even really know you as a person. So I try not to really think about that too awful much. It is tough though. Even like going out to the merch booth after shows, I've always been big on that. Like I'll go out there and hang
oh
out
yeah, we always do
as
that.
long as possible. I have had some uh multiple moments though at merch booths where it's like just totally inappropriate. Like I mean, people have done some pretty wacky stuff where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not cool. And it's like, but you also can't like freak out in the moment because then it makes it weird for everybody else. And
And that's so interesting because like
it's really disrespectful stuff,
it
honestly.
is, and
But
that's
people
like
are drunk and they're,
well, and it's hard too because it's so interesting where it's like, you know, you- I've I've never had someone grab my ass until I started going out to the merch booth, and then you're like, oh, hey,
yeah.
and then it's like, okay, now I'm gonna stay behind the guardrail because I don't want to do that, and then you have people being like, they're being like, like straight up, like you're super hot. Let's come back
100%
to my place later. I'm like, hey, girly pop,
married.
I love my wife.
Yeah.
No, goodbye. And but like you're also not trying to be a dick, and you're not trying to be like, because in your head you're like, get the fuck away from me. Like I love my wife, leave me alone. But you can't do that. You can't just be like, hey, fuck you, get out of here.
I mean, we say
And
you can't. Maybe we should, you know? I think everybody around would probably even be like,
I think they would, but then I just feel bad because I'm being mean to someone.
I know, I get it, dude. I totally get it. Yeah. It would I will yeah, it's always it's funny too that like it's kind of easy to think about those interactions um and not take them super serious because the only reason they're interested is because of who you are. It's like
Bingo.
my wife was with me when we were living in like a 12-foot wall or a short wall uh horse trailer, and I was shoeing horses and making $100 a day, and I had no music out. And it's like it's pretty easy to see people, now that might act like that and look at it and be like, the only reason you would not have been interested in me 7 years ago.
Dude, what's
Like,
worse is um so I met my wife at a show, but I met my wife when we were like a bar band. I signed her tits at a show.
That's perfect.
which is incredible.
Well, you weren't married at that time.
No,
Yeah, well,
uh,
that's good.
I was single as hell. But we weren't. She didn't even know who we were. She was just there, and she was like, "The drummer's hot." And she was like, "We saw my boobs." And I was like, "Only if you let me film it and put it on TikTok." And she said, "Okay." And so but I talk about her all the time, and it still like sucks where it's like people are like people will like DM be like, "Yo, is the drummer single?" And I'm like, if you did any amount of research
Yeah.
into this, you would see in my bio, it literally says, "I love my wife, leave me alone." And by the way, I would like to also say, not like people are coming out of the woodworks being like, "Fuck me, yeah." Like that's not happening at all. My bio is mostly a joke because it makes my wife like a little embarrassed, and I think it's kind of fucking funny.
Yeah.
So it's not like, again, I don't want it to seem like people are like coming up every show and being like, "Let's go fuck in the alley." Like that's not happening. Thank God. Because most people know I am married. But there's like, it's like once every year, once or twice, and then you're kind of just like, man, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, yeah. But you do want to be able to connect with people, and you don't want to act like you're like too cool for everybody. It's a difficult thing to navigate.
But when the dudes do it, I love it.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah,
When
I'm
the
all
dudes are
for
like,
it.
"Bro, you want to go make out?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there, dude.
Just
You
got
know?"
back.
Yeah, dude. Some guys. So I have a thigh tattoo of the band's logo.
I was just looking at it.
It's right there.
Oh, I didn't see the high one.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking at the low
Dude,
boy.
I got a high one.
Yeah,
Um,
dangerous.
yeah. And so I showed it in a TikTok, and some dudes got it. And so now they'll come to shows, and I know who they are, and we'll just drop our pants and lift up the tattoo, and we'll just take photos. And I'm like, it's awesome. I think it's great. Sometimes we'll say shit on podcasts too. Like I was like, "Oh, like someone bring a live chicken and sacrifice one at one of our shows." Clearly joking. Clearly joking. Clearly joking. And someone then was like, "I'm bringing the chicken." And I was
No,
like,
do
"No." I was like,
not.
"You can't."
No,
I
this
was
is
like, "No."
insane.
I was like, "You can't bring it. We can't kill a chicken in this venue."
No, please don't kill them at all. Like, don't,
Yeah,
no, don't
don't
do it at all.
don't bring the chicken.
I mean, unless you're gonna eat the chicken, but but it doesn't need to be a sacrifice either. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just making sure you were gonna be.
No, we should kill the chicken.
We should
Kill the chicken.
We can kill the chicken, but we'll eat the chicken.
No. We just let its blood.
We just
we bathe in its blood.
Dude, I can't take jokes. Stop. All right. So do y'all have new music coming out at all?
Oh yeah, man. Wait, I forgot I have to like promote things.
No. Well, I mean,
no, that was me. That was me.
Yeah.
No, that was me fucking around.
No, don't.
Um,
I talked to your label earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
called him.
And then I hung up.
Good.
They said, hey. And I said, no.
No. So actually, kind of going back to, we do have new music coming out. So we've got these 4 songs that we recorded with Ryan Hewitt, who we love. He's a phenomenal producer. He did a lot of like the early, you know this, but for anyone who fucking doesn't know who Ryan Hewitt is, he did a lot of like the Chili Peppers and the early like 2000s rock and roll.
Yeah, who's some of the other people he's done?
So he's done Chili Peppers. He's done some Noah Kahn stuff, which is 2 different things. I don't know why. That's just the first thing that popped
Well, that
into my
shows you
mind.
how awesome he is.
Yeah. Oh, he's sick. Oh, he did. He was the original sound engineer on the Self-Titled by Blink-182. So he tracked I Miss You and like all those, and so he did that, right? And when we signed with the label, we were kind of like, oh, like we don't want to be labeled as Texas country, because when you get labeled as Texas country, sometimes it feels hard to like get out of that, and so our label was kind of like, okay.
Wait, so you hate Robert O'Keen?
No, I love Robert Earl Keen. I love Robert Earl Keen, but
I'm just kidding.
I hate like.
That was my joke.
No, I know. It's just that's a real thing, because it's like I wish the people in Nashville didn't have a fucking stick up their ass and weren't like, well, that's Texas country. We're never gonna let that be mainstream. Like I wish Texas country didn't exist. I wish it was like the label, I wish the label didn't exist. I wish it was. This is
the purity of music. Just
this is good music.
Yeah.
But Nashville didn't like it because it wasn't the polished pop bullshit that fucking Lady Antebellum was singing, or Lady A now. Sorry, not Lady Antebellum.
That's right.
Yeah, Lady A now.
I thought it was just the chicks.
No,
the dicks.
That's
wait, what?
Yeah. Well, shout out the chicks. Actually, Traveling Soldiers, a banger.
Yeah, that would actually be a great punk song.
Oh my god. But so they we kind of started recording and we started losing a little bit of our twang. Like we started not being a southern rock western space grunge band, and we started being more of a like indie rock band. And so we just did 4 songs with Hewitt that we're really proud of, and we're really proud of the music. We really like it, but we kind of looked up and we were like, "Oh man, I feel like a lot of these new songs, if you listen to, you wouldn't be like those boys are from Texas, or those boys like they have some like they grew up in they grew up in a double wide and they grew up doing this and like they like and and I don't think there's anything wrong about that. It's just we missed that.
Yeah, it didn't fully represent you.
It didn't fully represent us. And so we're still putting those songs out. We're super excited. The one that I mentioned earlier, Flavorless, it's coming out. Like those are going to be really good songs. I'm really excited to do that. But the biggest thing that we're doing, which I think will be, I'm either breaking it here too early when this comes out, or it will be out in a couple weeks when this comes out. But we're doing something called the Donkey Flats. And that is the name of the neighborhood in which our bass player lived and where his like one of his double wides was.
Where is this at?
It's in like West Texas. And we recorded all of our music out of his closet when we were coming up. We did it on excuse me, sorry. We did it on basically like this Amazon Alexa. It's called Aspire Studio, where we recorded it off an iPhone. And that's how we did Couch on that. We did Kate McKinnon on that. We did Devil Like Me. We did
Whoa.
Space Invader. Every like all the stuff that got us big and like kind of got us signed to a label that people were like, I fuck with this music. Um, and we were like, man, what if we went back to that? And what if we just and it's been 3 years, so we've gotten so much better. We've learned so much from Hewitt and about tones and how to record and all that. So we're gonna go back to Ty's house into a studio in his double wide, which is like it's literally a fourth the size of this room we're in right now. Um, and we're gonna go and we're gonna record some red dirt grunge music, like some straight up like I'm talking Hayes Carl meets Nirvana type shit.
I love
And
it.
we're calling it the Donkey Flats. And we're gonna do it all on our own. We're gonna mix the whole thing. We're gonna do everything, and we're filming it all. So we rented 3 cameras, and we're setting it up in 3 corners of the room. And we're gonna record. We're gonna try to do it over 6 days. We're gonna record the whole thing, and we're gonna make a documentary. Um, on each song, on how each song was made. What was the creative thought process? Why did we do it? We're gonna sit down and do like interviews of like, hey, I'm James, our lead singer. I just got done singing, and this is how I thought it. This is what I think this song's about. This is what this means. This is what the vibe is.
Art, baby.
And we're gonna encompass the whole thing. And I think kind of the goal is to see how that goes, to see if people want more of that, to see if people like where that is and if they want. I think they do. I think they want more of that like sad cowboy grunge vibe. And if that goes well, we may turn it into this like series where it's like Donkey Flats, and then it's Donkey Flats 2 and Donkey
Texas
Flats
rock
and
and
like
roll, dude.
and
I
like
love it.
and then we see and we, I think this is all just me planning, and I have no idea if any of this is gonna, it all goes into how it's received, all that stuff. But then it's like, okay, well now we just start making music for fun. And it's like, okay, we just wrote a new song. Cool, let's go to Ty's house and let's put together another Donkey Flats. Or we just wrote a new song and it's like, hey, who's in town? Who can we call up to come feature on this? Like who do we know in Texas right now that is in this scene that we're trying to build? And how do we get them on one of our songs? How do we write with them? How do we and like being far less focused on like we need to make sure this is the right song, and just being like, hey, we're gonna make art. Do we like it? We like it. Cool. We're gonna put it out.
Totally.
And that comes out December 3rd tentatively. Which I think because he was saying, or at least I was talking to Steve, he was saying this will be out like mid-November or something like that,
Probably.
which I think we'll have already announced
Mhm.
it's coming out. The
Yeah.
documentary thing might be a surprise. So
Dude, you're really exciting me
congrats.
the way that you're talking about a lot of this music because it's where my head's been at for a while as well. And my stuff's definitely probably a little bit like bluesier, has a more blues elements to it.
Mhm.
Uh, and but what I've been wanting to hear from myself is way more what you're describing, and I don't hear a ton of people talk about it the way that you've talked about it. So it really excites me.
Yeah. Because, dude, I
Like
think,
selfishly, it excites me even.
oh my god, like, what's a shame is if I think Austin was Nashville in, when like if I think all the people that are in Nashville were in Austin when Robert Earl Keen was happening, when Turnpike was happening, when Pat Green was happening, I think we'd be talking about having Nashville country and then real country. Like I think it's all a perception issue is what it's been is the people in Texas have not like there hasn't been good marketing, like not good marketing, but there hasn't been the industry push behind them
No,
because people are like, "Oh, like this isn't this isn't what's, this isn't Dan and Shay and this isn't like you know, I can't think of anybody,
well,
this
dude,
isn't.
it always had a bit of an edge to it. And then the personalities were definitely, it was that
Oh my
Texas
god, the
thing, dude. It's that
personalities were there,
independent spirit. Like,
and it was beautiful. And I think now that, and by the way, no shade to any of those people. Like this isn't like Luke Combs or anything like that, right? But I think, which I fucking love Luke Combs. But I think now with the advent of social media, the playing field's level. Is the industry now, the Nashville industry has way less sway over being like, well, we found him in Nashville, so we're gonna mold him into this that we already know makes money. And now it's like, hey, Texas has leveled the playing field. We get to do this. We get to be this real thing, and you can't really stop us because now all of the power is in our hands because we can go put together a TikTok campaign independently and blow this shit the fuck up.
they
And
can't control it.
that's the biggest that's the thing that I'm the most excited about with the music and what we're doing and just how we're gonna do it. And I mean, because we've got some. I mean, we've got one like very diamonds and gasoline style song that we're gonna put on there,
Cool.
and then there's another like very feels like 2016 like Texas rock, and then a straight up just Dexter and the Moonrocks, like, hey, this is probably an alt rock song, but we're gonna put it on here and call it country. Like fuck you. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about that we get to do that, and then people's perceptions like this is what it means to be Western space grunge, sad cowboy. Like this is what this is, and I think that's cool.
Do I have permission to start using Western Space Grunge?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
think it's
needed to
sick.
ask you before I started using
Yeah, I
it.
think anybody can use it. I
Mm.
mean, I don't think it's a, you know, I don't think it's a crazy thing that, I've talked to our management about being like, should we trademark that fucking phrase?
Absolutely.
Which I think we're going to, but it's
Do
not like,
it.
it's not like we're gonna come after anybody.
Oh, no, no. I
about
already
it.
have it on video.
Oh
I
hell
get
yeah,
to use
yeah,
it.
that you can, yeah.
You're like, I think you're a genius.
I
I don't
appreciate
think you know that
appreciate that.
about that, but you might know that about yourself.
I suspect it, but I don't. I don't. I have a feeling.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Hmm. But what gets really hard is, and I think you relate to this, is when you don't talk, is when you talk to people whose job it is to be the industry, and then you look at them and you go, "Hey, we have to do it this way," and they go, "That's not the most cost-effective, beneficial. Like that's not going to make sense." Blah 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 blah. We need to do it this way, and you're like, "Okay, we're gonna do it your way. We're gonna waste 7 grand. It's not gonna work, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna do it my way, and it is gonna work. And it's not because like it's not an ego thing. It's just I'm better at my job.
Do you ever
Like
have a hard
I know what I am talking about
Yeah, so your mind is running like a million miles an hour.
constantly. Yes,
Yes.
very
And
bad ADHD.
and you're incredibly smart and very intuitive and thoughtful.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you're saying.
Well, but okay.
I mean that sincerely. Like that came off asshole-ish. I'm sorry.
No, 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 not at all. No, no. Did you find like growing up or even maybe recently that you sometimes feel like you need to mute that to make people around you feel more comfortable? Like, is it isolating at times? Because your confidence level with which you talk about things, and your intelligence level, do you ever feel like you don't want to intimidate people maybe around you?
Um,
or you don't want to come off as arrogant or cocky?
So I actually always I have this thing where I always defer to people that I think are in higher positions than me.
Okay.
Um, so like I've never done a podcast before. Like I've never run a podcast before, right? And so I will always right now think you are smarter than me in the podcast realm and that I need to learn from you. And I think that's what's made it really beneficial for me, right? And so I will always defer to people. And the problem is that when I defer to people, I trust them for about 3 months. And then I kind of realize, oh, you're not as experienced as I thought you were, or you maybe don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
well, maybe let me
Mhm.
ask it in a different way. Have you been confronted by people that accuse you of thinking you know it all?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
I mean, I'm a lot. I'm a lot. I'm a lot. I am, I know I am.
I love that about you.
I'm very confident in,
You remind me of some people in my family.
thank you.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
no, no. I mean, it's like I was raised around like kind of eccentric people that were like confident and they were just doing a lot.
yeah, it's because like I'm not just shooting shit out my ass. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Right.
not like I I work really hard. I grind it out and I know what I am after. And I think and I know I'm
That right there intimidates a ton of people.
yeah. And it's hard because what that means is then you can't bullshit me. That's what's hard. Is I really hate being manipulated and not in the way of like not in the manipulated way that you think you're think, but like kind of the way of like, well, that's a good idea. Let's talk about it a month from now. It's like, hey, that probably means you don't think it's a good idea. Tell me right now. Like, let's have an honest, like, fuck feelings. We don't need, I don't, I'm so analytical. It's like, I don't need you to baby my feelings. I don't need you to do anything like that. I need you to tell me what the problem is and what limb I need to cut off in order to cauterize the wound and make sure the body keeps moving. That is how I look at things. I look at things as ones and zeros. What is the most effective maneuver is do we need to move a pawn here to sacrifice it in order to get a bigger play here, here, and here? Do we need to be like, how do we need to be analytical about the moves we make and the songs we release and all of that to position us in the best way possible? And I don't need you to hurt my feelings. Like I don't need you to coddle my feelings. That's more what I mean. I don't care if you hurt my feelings. Just tell me, what do you think it is? Let's have a conversation and let's figure out what we need to do. And I think I'm just very upfront. Like if you say something and you're like, I think you should release on a Sunday, I'm gonna be like, hey, I think that's a dumb idea. And I think that's a dumb idea because these metrics. And that's really off putting to people sometimes because they're used to people being like, well, Sunday's an interesting release, but have you considered that maybe we should talk about releasing it on a Wednesday and let's circle back. Let's circle back and
Synergize
yeah, let's
together.
synergize. And it's to me, it's like, hey, my time is valuable. You are wasting my time. You are wasting my time by trying to bullshit me right now. I don't care. I don't need to know. Like, I want to get to know you personally, absolutely. But this train is rolling, and I'm trying to make it so that me and the rest of this band and our kids never have to work a day in our lives. Okay. For the last 27 years, everyone in this band has been making $17 an hour doing hard manual labor, except me. I was making $17 an hour teaching baseball lessons. I was not a blue collar family. Like I hand up, I'm very adamant to people that I want them to know that. I was raised in that culture, but I was very fortunate that my parents made a good amount of money. I got good academic scholarships. I went to college. I was in law school for a little bit. Um, and uh but the guys they were working manual labor jobs like all that's just kind of what was around them,
Yeah,
right?
but you're
And
hyper focused and
yeah, but
diligent about
that
what
is
you
that
want.
is what I care about the most
Yeah.
is like I want to look around and I want to be like I want to make sure that when we have kids that everybody's wife is taken care of. When we have kids, everybody's kid is taken care of. That everybody's kid's kid is taken care of. Like this is a position where the music industry works to create generational wealth that can have lasting impact on all of us. And I take that very fucking seriously, like incredibly seriously. And I think for some people, they're like, oh, I'm working a job. And I love my job and I want to do well at my job. And I think it's off putting for me, like I'm off-putting to them because I'm like, hey, I'm here to be the biggest band in the world is my floor. That is what I am demanding. I am demanding greatness. And I understand that is really hard for people sometimes, and I am a lot. And so then when things don't get delivered, I get frustrated because I'm like, I'm busting my ass 24/7 and also again busting my ass by creating fucking TikToks and writing songs, and like it's not the same as busting my ass to work a 12-hour fucking shift on on an oil rig or something like that. Like those aren't comparable. And but I want to achieve
Yeah,
greatness.
but even acknowledging that shows you how much you care about the opportunity,
Yes.
because
Like
not everybody gets that
you
opportunity.
only get this once.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people find that and I think I am hard to work with. And I think one thing that like I really and thank God for our new managers because they really understand that. And they'll sometimes be in my ear and they'll be like, hey, make sure you're thanking the troops and you're thanking the team and you're reiterating that. And I'm like, and I do try to make a really cognizant effort of that because I know I have a strong personality. So I really do want to find people and be like, hey, I know I was tough on this, or this, but like, I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for working with us. Thank you for doing this. Like, this is why I'm
Well,
this
there's
way.
times that if you are incredibly serious and hardworking, and you're not, the train's not stopping for anybody, and if everybody around you quit, you're still going to be pushing the train forward. That at times for people that it might intimidate, I've noticed they'll oftentimes try to make you feel insecure about what you're doing because they're just not willing to put in the same amount of effort. So they will accuse somebody like you of being like, "Oh, well, you're just a know-it-all. Oh, well, you're just hard to work with," or all those types of things, because it's like, no, 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 no. Like some of that might even be true a little bit. Sure, okay, whatever. But like you're insecure about the lack of effort and work that you're putting in, and you're just trying to tear me down to your level
Yeah.
because I make you feel insecure.
I tell people this. So I played baseball. Baseball is really formative for me. I tell people this all the time. It's like, hey, I don't give a shit if a ball's hit at you 105 miles an hour and you take it off the chest and a run scores. I don't care if that's going to happen. What's going to piss me off is if you drop a routine fly ball and you keep dropping routine fly balls. That's what's going to piss me
It's
off.
probably effort.
Is like it's at, like I if we get beat 15-0 and it's because they hit 15 home runs, shit, that happens, man. But if we get beat 15-0 and we got 15 errors and nobody's there and nobody's putting in the effort and nobody's caring and nobody's communicating and we're not talking to each other and we're not trying to work as a team and there's not an understanding of what's going on and there's not like a level of give a shit, that's what that's what
It's the
bothers
most
me.
unattractive trait I can find: apathy and lack of effort.
And that was like a really big so like back to the original where you cuz like why are you this way or like when did you become accepting of like being this um
Yeah, because that's a transition.
so
Do I want to fully commit to being kind of who I am in this way? Because that's going to come with some darts thrown at you, you know?
it's going to come with
And were there times in your life that you kind of tried to mute that because you're clearly different than most people?
it's going to come with a it's going to come with a coach that recruits you um to play baseball in college and gives you your dream of being a division 1 baseball player and then realizes that maybe you weren't ready to play at the division 1 level and he pushes you so hard because he's upset that you aren't the talent that you panned out to, that you walk onto a field one night and you almost kill yourself when you're 19 and a freshman. And then your best friend, who's the guy that's a really big fan of you, um, he was the wow, I haven't told this story in a minute. I haven't told this story publicly. Um, uh,
Give me some knuckles.
he was doing laundry, um, and he was the grad assistant. It was his 5th year, and I will always love this man with every fiber of my being. But it was at midnight, I think, and I had just a really rough week of fall ball, and I sat at home plate for like 30 minutes, and it was raining outside, I think, or something like that. And I walked back in. I didn't think anybody would be in the clubhouse. All the lights are always on in the clubhouse. And it was his 5th year. He tore his labrum, so he was going to pitch, but he got turned into a grad assistant because he tore his labrum. And he looked at me and he just said point blank, he was like, Fox. I was like, yeah, what's up, Scotty? And he's like, are you going to kill yourself? And I was like, oh, Scotty, I don't know. And from then on, I was a freshman. He just took me under his wing and he was like, I'm not letting you out of my sight. And it wasn't, I don't think I ever would have gone through with it. I loved living too much. I loved my mom too much. I couldn't do that to my mom. Like I
Yeah, but
just,
that's a real
it's and it was and I don't think it was, I don't have any ill will towards this coach or anything like that. And I think I really loved my time at ACU, but I think I was this very strong personality and I was someone who didn't necessarily understand feel. And what I mean by that is like feel for the locker room vibe, how to just be like just a chill dude. You know what I mean? Like for a lack of a
yes.
better word, right?
Yes.
Like I took
Cuz you're like naturally not.
I'm not. No, I'm not. And I take everything literally. It's really hard. I don't know if you've noticed throughout this entire podcast, you will make a joke and my first response is to actually give you a real response. And then I'm like, "Oh," and then in the back of my mind, like I'll already be like, "Oh no, actually." And then I'll be like, "Oh, he's making a joke." Like you don't need to respond to this with a fact. But that's what I was doing and when I got recruited along with 9 other freshmen. It was the head coach's first year that head coach is still a phenomenal head coach and I love him. But it was the head coach's first year. He recruited 9 freshmen, I think. Um, there were 4 returning seniors, and then there were 30 junior college bandits. He just got some JUCO bandits that were just some fucking
Nasty.
just dude. Those were dudes that were like, I don't come here to play school. I come here to play baseball, and they are the typical just dudes. And so they were all fucking with each other. And I thought it was literal, and I kind of became the punching bag and that made it a little harder. And they weren't doing it intentionally, but I didn't know that as like a young kid. And then on top of that, I was so stressed out because I wasn't performing for baseball, and that made everything really, really hard. And um, and so then I got through that, and COVID happened, so it canceled that season that I was in. I came back. The coach was still on my ass, and I was just like, man, fuck you, fuck this. I'm a I'm I don't need this. And I transferred to a different school. I tried to play baseball. The baseball gods politely said, please never play baseball ever again. You're not that good. And I went, you know what? You're right. And I transferred back to ACU. I graduated a year early. And funny enough, I did the ESPN commentary for the baseball team for the coaching staff that I was pissed off at, which I thought was hilarious. But I mean, and again, it's not like I don't, for anybody that might go and like look this up and be like, I wonder who these coaches were or anything like
Yeah.
that. I don't think it was anything they intentionally knew was happening. There is just a level of stress that can only be
But you felt like an
explained through
outsider
stories.
and you felt so different than everybody
Because
else.
I was so literal. I was, for lack of a better word, I was super autistic. That's that's what it was, is I was I was hyper literal and I didn't really understand a lot of the clubhouse jokes. I didn't understand like a lot of the stuff that was going on there, the social cues. I was weird. I would say like, I would say the wrong thing at the wrong time and it wouldn't be funny because I thought I was, like those
Oh,
things
just crush your soul.
just crush your and then no and and it would just crush your soul
And
and
there
it
was
was like
but the only person around was the guy you're still buddies with
mhm,
that at
only
least
guy.
he
And
could
my roommate Thomas.
yeah.
I love you, Thomas.
So he could recognize it though.
So
Yeah.
and he was like and he helped me and he was the one who was like, hey, I'll stay late and I'll throw pitches to you to help you like with catching and stuff like that. And it was just it was hard because I think the coach that was tough on me, he was a very like rootin' tootin' like men don't have feelings kind of like guy. Like that's the how he presented himself. So his coaching philosophy was like, "Oh, you dropped a ball, cool. You have to do 15 push-ups." And then it would be like I dropped like 10 balls and then it would be like all practice would stop and I would have to do 150 push-ups
Mhm.
as a skinny little freshman in full catching gear and I couldn't do it. And then they would be like, "No, we're just going to wait." And it was like, "Oh."
Public shaming, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't I don't think it was like again it was I am not accusing this man, like I want it to be like I think my mental health struggles were my own and I do not think he was like one that was like really pushing me to be like I want to be very careful because I think he was a solid person. I think he's a good family man. Like I want that to be taken very very seriously. Um And I think the ASU baseball program's a great one, and I look back on it with like a lot of fond memories. I think it was just
But
like
it's a pivotal moment to
yes,
figure out that you were
different.
different.
Yeah.
And
And
then after that, finding music and then finding maybe a better outlet for some of those things
yeah.
made more sense.
And I think that's what's so funny is
Because like
I'll
a lot of the eccentric stuff that you're talking about is what makes you so like powerful in what you're doing now.
yeah. And I had to I just had to like I had to realize that that was cool. Like being a lot was cool. And it was okay to be a lot. And it was okay to be whimsical. And it was okay to be weird. And it was okay to like Magic the Gathering and to be a nerd and to read comic books and to enjoy art and to cry whenever I watched The Perks of Being a Wallflower and to, think Dead Poets Society is one of the greatest movies of all time and watch Whiplash, which I don't know if you've seen the movie Whiplash. Watch Whiplash and be like, that's someone to aspire to. Like, I 100% would rather be dead at 30 and have people talking about me than live to 90 and have no one know who I am. And um and I think that like baseball, like I'm so thankful for that tough time because it taught me, which is this is such a cliche, but it like helped me realize, oh, okay, I can do these other things and I can be very successful. And like one of my goals is for the band to get really, really big. And then we go back to Abilene and then hopefully that coaching staff is still there. And I'm like, free tickets to the whole team at this like 10,000 person concert if you want to come.
Love it.
Because that's, and again, nothing against that coaching. Like I think it was so many things were going wrong. It was like I felt like I didn't have any friends. My roommate didn't really fuck with me because he was on the pitching staff, but he hung out with upperclassmen and I didn't hang out with upperclassmen. I wasn't doing well at
Yeah, you
baseball.
were
Like
isolated
I
and
was
lonely.
I was lonely. It was a lot like and then it was the occasional, the coach would just get mad and yell at me, right? And he was just being a coach. I don't think there was no maliciousness, but that's what it felt like was it was like I'm alone and I'm being targeted. And um and so that's also what's super interesting is I'm kind of the only one in the band that like my demons are like in my head. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
you're a very, very deep thinker.
thank you.
I mean, but most people like that are susceptible to that. I mean, your greatest enemy is your own mind.
Yes. That's I mean, also I go to therapy all the time. Shout out Will. I love you. He's my therapist. I've been seeing him for 5 years. Um it's fucking incredible. Everyone should go to therapy. I think it's the best thing you could do for your life. Um but my greatest enemy, I mean, I'm anxious. Dude, like I will be on the road and I will like look out into the crowd and I'll accidentally like catch myself lingering too long on like a girl with like big boobs or something like that. And then in my head I'm like, you just cheated on your wife. And like that, like because I'm so OCD hyper fixated on things. And then I'm like, oh my God, I just like that.
You
Oh my,
spiral.
like, and then I spiral. And like I've gone through like the last year and a half of therapy has been like, how do I deal with that? And how do I deal with like the fact that like I used to not be able to pick up knives because it would not that I've never like cut myself anything like that, but it would just be like if I like picked up a knife and I had the wrong thought, I could be like, oh, I could stab myself in like 30 different ways. And I think Luke Combs just got on a podcast, which was super helpful to me. And he has OCD and he talked about this whole thing. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm not alone in this. Like, Luke Combs is one of the
Well,
biggest
talking about
artists.
it and getting it out is like,
The most important thing in
oh
the
my
world. Oh
goodness.
my God.
When you talking about the crying thing, I've gotten way more into that. Like, just being willing to like just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so woven in our culture. Obviously, you don't want to be out of control emotionally as a man, but there is something woven into our culture where it's just you're not supposed to cry and you're not supposed to share
And I
feelings or
think that's bullshit,
emotions.
man.
Oh, totally agree.
That's why like 80% of the suicides are men.
There was something I saw recently that it was like, I don't even know if this is right. Micah, who was that? Who was that guy? Was it Justin Wilson, black guy? He runs that karate group up in Detroit. He had some videos go viral because he like had a little
Yes.
kid.
Oh my God. I know exactly who you're talking
You need
about.
to go watch
Yes.
some of that guy's
Yes. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm a heavy Christian, and this dude comes out of like a Christian background or whatever. But he was talking about like how he like encourages a lot of guys to cry. But he was saying how it's like 98% of your tears are just like salt water, but then there's apparently like a percentage of your tears that it's actually like stress hormones that are being released. So
Mm.
it's like that's why after you cry, there is like a sense of
There's a
calm
yeah,
and
that's
peace.
real.
But I mean, there's guys that go through their whole life, like they can't remember the last time they cried.
Oh, dude, I cried. Dude, I cried this morning. I saw a TikTok where it was like,
Mhm.
uh, it was some like sappy emotional shit that made me think of my wife, and then I like
Yeah,
cried a
man.
little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
it's important.
it's, I mean, and I think it's so much is, and like I work out regularly now. And I think that's super important. Like you should do that. You should have good outlets. You should not be on your like as someone who does social media for a living, you should not be on your fucking phone all the time.
Yeah,
It's so bad for you.
terrible.
And I think and what's really interesting is
Touch grass, bro.
touch grass. Dude, get some turtle time.
Turtle time.
Uh but I think what's really interesting is when you're trying to write is being the drummer in a band. I sometimes will write something that James doesn't want to sing. James is our singer, and that's his fucking right. Like, I'm not gonna write a song. My wife's name is Meadow. I'm not gonna write a song like, Meadow, your eyes are so green and pretty, or whatever, and then be like, James, sing this fucking
Sing
song.
this. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird as shit.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of like the stuff that I write about is very like, oh, the demons are talking to me. I think I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And I sometimes have to figure out how do I accentuate that the best way that makes this a Dexter and the Moonrocks song. Not a Fox song, but it makes it a Dexter and the Moonrocks song that like the band feels comfortable performing. And I think that's very different because like that's got to be different from you because you could just be like, "Oh, I had this feeling I wrote the song. I'm Jarrod Morris of Jarrod Morris. I can sing this song, right? And I can't fucking sing." So I kind of have to think about that and what does that mean when I write stuff and how do I talk about like we have a song that we've kind of demoed but the main chorus is mama there's monsters under my bed and 20 years later they're trapped in my head
mm.
and it's like that's a song that I'm super super proud of and it's how do we work that to be a Dexter and the Moonrocks song? Because I wrote it and it's very personal to me. But just because it's personal to me doesn't mean it connects with the rest of the band and it's a song they want to perform.
Sure.
And that's something too that I have to look at and be like, okay, I have to take all of the ego out of that because ego's the biggest killer of bands. I feel like and being like, well,
Creativity in general.
yeah, it's the bit and so it's like, yo, if y'all don't fuck with it, I don't give a shit. I'll write 10 more. We can table this conversation. I don't care. And so I just have to that's something that I had to learn kind of early on is like I don't really take offense to that. And it's like, okay, well let's write another one. Or what does this look like? And I think the guys are all so nice. And I think that's what makes us such a cool band is we all get together and we'd be like, I have this song. Here's the 10% that I don't want changed. We can change 90% of the rest. What do you guys think? And they go, yeah, let's do it. You know, like I wrote She Likes Girls. It was about an experience of someone breaking up with me and uh, then, oh, cute dog. Uh, yeah, I wrote She Likes Girls and it was kind of just about an experience that I had. And then it was like, okay. And then I kind of took to the guys. And then James was like, oh, what if we added this, this, and this? And I was like, that's fucking awesome. And I think that's super cool. And so I just have to be kind of cognizant of that when I'm like writing specific things. But if you're ever listening to a Dexter and the Moonrock song, and I think we wrote a song called Say I, uh, we didn't, we wrote a song called Say I, and one of the lyrics are, it's getting bad again, stripping meat from my skin. And that was one that like I'd had for a minute. And I was like, can we put this in right here?
Sure.
And they were like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but that's the collaborative part.
Yeah. And that's what makes the guys some of the best in the world. Cause James is a huge like, he's like, I don't really give a shit what the lyrics are. I just want it to sound cool. Like,
Sure.
obviously I don't want the lyrics to suck. He's like, I want the melody to be cool. I want the instrumental to be cool. And I would like to not say stuff that's weird. And I like stuff that I enjoy saying. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Makes total sense.
And so then I'll just read him like I've just got sheets and I'll just be like, what about this? What about this? What? And he's like, no, 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 no. Okay. No, no, no. And it's like, all right, cool. And that's
I,
kind of
lo-
how
I
we,
love that, dude.
that's kind of how we do it. And it's fun.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate your freaking openness. I think you're a
Yeah.
fascinating person.
Thank you.
I think you're like very, very special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise.
My mom tells me I'm special. You know what I'm saying?
Me and your mom.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good Childish Gambino song.
Oh, really?
Me and Your Mama. It's a phenomenal song. It has a great drop.
Is he talking trash to me?
No.
Oh.
See, I did it again. I just want you to know.
Well, no, but actually, you literally taking it helps the bit if you dive into it.
See, well,
It is a joke, but it's also
it's-
something. I'm opening a door. Like, if you want to go there, we can go down there.
because dude, that's the problem with my mind is like that's what makes me really good at social media, I think, is like you could say something about like I don't know, you could say something about the color blue. We could be talking about something blue and you could be like, "Oh, it's so funny that like the color blue looks like this," and I can go 10 steps further and I can be like, "Hey, that's actually a great idea. Did you know that the blue Power Ranger in the 2001 SPD Power Rangers, like the 12th season, did something funny like this? I can go find that clip on YouTube and take the same thing that you're thinking about and I can clip that together in a meme." And like that, because like some people will come
A
to
beautiful
me.
mind.
Yeah, dude. Some people will come to me and they'll be like, where did you find that fucking scene? And I'm like, "Oh, I just remembered it from a TV show I watched as a kid." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Where the
You just tick different, bro. You just got to do your
Yeah.
different, like in a good way. I love it, dude.
Thank
I'm
you.
such a fan.
I appreciate
I was
that.
already a fan of y'all, so this just like solidified it, made it so cool.
I feel
for
like I
me.
talked a lot. I'm so sorry.
What's the point? You kidding me? Better than me talking. Are you kidding me? I already got my name on it. It's like, shut up, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing this,
Dude,
man.
this was a blast.
Yeah.
This
Heck
was
yeah,
awesome.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't let you smoke your whole cigar, but
It's
it was-
okay, man.
Yeah.
I yapped a lot.
No, man,
and
yeah, that's the whole point,
And
man.
that's real. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing it.
dude.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, buddy.
Bye. I hope you find your dad.
My rival